Welcome, everyone, to the Week 11 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you have not had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and follow us on Instagram at justsayingwjs for article and video updates. The Sunday late afternoon games kick off with a great one, with the 0-9 New York Jets taking on the 2-7 Los Angeles Chargers in LA. Jack, what you got for us?
Yeah, what a great one this is. I mean,
Yeah, it's a good matchup. It's football.
it's exactly what you want on a Sunday afternoon. The Jets 0-9, looking for their first win. Justin Herbert looking for a bit of a publicity boost after that haircut the other day. But
Needs it.
2-7. These Chargers losing close games. This is a potential opportunity for them to get very far ahead on a team for the first time all season. But that was my first impression. But with the way Joe Flacco's actually played the last couple of weeks, I've been a little bit impressed. And I've been impressed on a Jets standard where we haven't been able to see Jets quarterbacks throw a deep ball or, they've struggled with protection. It looks fine, but Herbert is really getting it done through the air for the Chargers. 291 yards a game through the air, even with all these running backs in and out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this game, and you're right. Joe Flacco had a pretty solid outing against the Patriots last time they played. He threw 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception, was 18 for 25, 262. It's a really nice, clean game. That's what you want to see, especially by a veteran like that. And it kept them in the game pretty much right there until the end. They only lost that game by 3 points. For a team that's only putting up 13.4 points a game, to put up 27 in a game like that is huge. And hopefully they can build on that, maybe get Gore into the end zone for his first touchdown of 2020. But I'm just looking at this, and I think that the Chargers have too much firepower offensively. I feel like we talk about it all the time. The running back by committee group that they have is solid. Joshua Kelly and Justin Jackson have picked up the slack for Austin Eckler, who looks to be maybe making a return. Probably not this week, but next week. We saw his Instagram. He's like hinting at the return, the comeback. Yeah. So get excited if you're a fantasy owner and you have him. But with Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, who's just having a great year, I expect the Chargers to not only go up with the huge lead, but to maintain the lead that they've given up so frequently, and they're not going to let that happen in this game. I got to go Chargers here over the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers here as well. I don't think the Jets get it done this week. I think that the pass attack of the Chargers and the potential of scoring is out there. Speaking of potential of scoring for this game, who do you think has the highest potential of scoring between Keenan Allen and your fantasy tight end, Hunter Henry?
I feel like I have to give it to Keenan Allen, and it has nothing to do with Hunter Henry and his ability. They're going to be up against a pretty weak defense. But what it is that I'm looking here, 6 games for Keenan Allen where he has 10 or more targets. That's a huge target share to be getting if you're a wide receiver. That means that pretty much almost every other play, Herbert's looking your way, and I expect that to continue. I do think that Hunter Henry can easily find the end zone, but with the target share of Keenan Allen, he's definitely going to be seeing the most yards, most likely a lot of the red zone targets as well. So I got to lean Allen there, though. I do hope Hunter Henry has a good game because I need some help in fantasy.
Yeah, well, I think that they're, like we said, big scoring potential in this game, but Sean's always Hunter Henry on the higher percentage of scoring here. We got your team to watch against my team to watch in this offseason, and they are on different levels in our next matchup. Right now, 6-3 Miami, going to Denver, taking on the Broncos, 3-6. How are we feeling about this game as Tua time has continued now for 3 weeks without a turnover?
Yeah, I mean, Tua time is alive. Tua time is around. They're playing well. Their defense looks great. They're creating turnovers. They're scoring in different kinds of ways. We've seen special teams some weeks. We've seen defense other weeks. We obviously are seeing this offense. Even with no Preston Williams now on IR, this team is finding ways to move the ball downfield. The only weak spot to this offense, honestly, is really just the running game. Hopefully they're able to pick that up because with the solid running game and the way that this offense operates in the passing could potentially be very, very dangerous for the playoffs, which as of right now they are set to be in the playoffs, and they have a chance to win the AFC East if they continue to get some wins. And the Bills have a tough schedule. They are going to play the Steelers at one point. So this is a chance for the Dolphins to take advantage of going up against a 3-6 team. We don't know if Drew Lock is in. Vic Fangio came out and said by the end of the day Saturday he'll give us an answer, not us personally, us the world. So that means that they might rely on Brett Rippon, who although got the win against the Jets, that was the Jets. This team is not the Jets. They have Byron Jones, they have Xavier Howard. They are not going to be able to pass efficiently, I don't think, against this defense, especially if Brett Rippon is in.
Yeah, I don't know. If Drew Lock plays, there's obviously higher potential, but you mentioned those two cornerbacks absolutely shutting people down this year. And I see Miami here taking advantage. As we mentioned, their upcoming schedule is juicy. They have an easy one against the Jets next week, and then they go and play the Bengals before playing Kansas City. But I think that the Dolphins can really just continue on this run here. And I really like what I've seen out of Tua so far. 5 touchdowns, no picks. This guy, he's thrown short passes, but it's getting done. And as you mentioned, the run game, it's going to have to get fixed. But I got to admit, on this defense, it's been, Jerome Baker running it in the middle. He's got a team leading 70 tackles on the year right now. And then Emmanuel Ogbah is somebody else we haven't really brought up on this show, leading the team right now with 8 sacks. I'm very impressed by him this year. He was somebody when he came out of the draft, I thought he was very underrated. It wasn't really the best situation for him in Cleveland, and I think that he's doing great here in Miami. But I think Miami takes this one. I wanted to go with the Broncos if Drew Lock plays. However, him not practicing Thursday, Friday, it does create some cause for concern, especially the way he played last week. It may be safe to put Ripken in there.
Yeah, it might just be the smart move with the 4-interception game against the Raiders last week. Not what you wanted to see. I'm also going to go Dolphins. I think that they're kind of riding a high with all these wins that they're getting. They are fully behind their young rookie quarterback. They are definitely behind their head coach. The defense is now stepping up. They just have a lot of things going well for them. And I think that they can get a win up against a pretty beatable Broncos team.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those matchups, just as 4:00 games, where you can really just see that it's gonna be all of these teams just trying to make runs right now or get these wins. It's no different for the Miami Dolphins. But one team that you are definitely gonna be excited to talk about, your Minnesota Vikings, hosting the Dallas Cowboys this week. And what I'm really looking for here is the Vikings, after this win streak, have a great passing matchup. But what is the biggest factor here for the Vikings to win this game?
I think, as always, it comes down to Dalvin Cook and how well he runs the ball. He ran the ball.
Still wearing the jersey.
We'll wear the jersey until we get a loss. Hopefully it's not this weekend. Hopefully it's not for a couple more weeks until we face the Buccaneers. But it runs through Dalvin Cook. He is the lifeblood of this offense. While we have the skill positions in the wide receiver spot, it runs through him. When he runs the ball well, Kirk Cousins plays better. The Bears did a great job of shutting him down, only holding him to 39 yards for the first 3 quarters. And it wasn't until the 4th quarter where he began to pick up chunk yards to get that up to 96 total yards for rushing. And we saw Kirk Cousins being able to move the ball efficiently. We saw a lot of confidence from Kirk Cousins at the end of the game, especially in the 2-minute warning where he made the pass to Kyle Rudolph. And was, yeah. You don't really see that a lot from Kirk. It was unusual to see. But it goes through Cook. And right now, the Cowboys have the 31st ranked run defense. They're giving up 157 yards per game. The Vikings have 2 big injuries. It's Ezra Cleveland is out, our starting right guard, with an ankle injury. And CJ Ham, a Pro Bowl fullback, was actually moved to the COVID list. So we are going to be taking a hit, which means that we need to put the right scheme together to allow Dalvin Cook to find success against a really, really weak run defense.
Yeah, the Cowboys defense this year, you called it this offseason, although that they had such high potential in their offensive firepower, the defense has really not come up for it. And, with Dalvin running right now, he's 5th in the league right now, 5.5 per carry, and per game he's getting 119, which is highest in the NFL right now. It's too much to handle for this Cowboys defense that's dealing with a lot of turnover, injury early in the season. The fact that Dak's not there, giving them those opportunities to rest. They're on the field all the time. I think the Vikings are going to go wear these guys out this weekend. However, I do think the way that Dallas has been playing, I do have to acknowledge that they have looked better the last couple of weeks. You know, the Philly game, I thought that they actually really came. The Steelers game, it came down to the last second. It's interesting. So the Vikings are going to have to approach this, they're going to have to approach this, as you always say, like you just said right there too, the run game. But this has to be a situation where they're making smart plays on offense. And the Vikings defense right now is also they've been playing great the last couple weeks, but they have struggled against the pass. And if they do indeed have Andy Dalton going full healthy this week, it could be interesting to see what he does against this Vikings pass defense. But I mean, I will go with the Vikings here at home. I don't want you to get mad at me, obviously, but no, I can't. And it's not about the Cowboys. It's really just about where they are right now, where the Vikings are right now. Jefferson, Thielen, they were running their routes to perfection last week against a great defense against the Bears. I'm looking for your boys to take it this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Vikings are going to get it done at home. We're also going to be wearing the primetime purple, and I want to see us get a win in those in the jerseys. What I think is going to be interesting about this game is, like you said, if Dalton's in, Mike Zimmer was actually the defensive coordinator for some time in Cincinnati before he was the Vikings head coach. And while he was there, he did have 1 year with Dalton. And he does have familiarity with Dalton. What is he like? What is he not like? And that could be a big thing. Also, a storyline to watch, I think, is Ezekiel Elliot. He hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game so far this year, and this looks like maybe a favorable matchup for him to do so. It wouldn't surprise me if he got 100 yards. And if he does, this would be potentially a really high-scoring game, just with the ability of both of these offenses to put up points because of the skilled players that they have. My one question for you is, right now, Justin Jefferson is tied with Randy Moss for the most 100-yard 100-yard receiving games by a Vikings rookie wide receiver. Does he break that this weekend against the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned high-scoring game. We got a 48-point over-under, and I don't think that the Cowboys will account for too much of it. I swear, I think that they will go over, and Justin Jefferson will be a big part of that. I think that he gets it this week. I think that he gets 100 a couple more times this year. That's going to be his record come January. Absolutely. This next matchup here, it's a big one. It's my game of the week. 100%.
Yeah,
Packers,
this is
7-2. Indianapolis Colts at home, 6-3. The Packers have never won in Indianapolis, Shanzi. They have never.
Yeah, I know, and Aaron Rodgers wants to flip that, but he's going up against a great defense. The Colts have been absolutely phenomenal this year. I think one of the things that could benefit them is they did sign former Viking cornerback Xavier Rhodes this offseason, and he's very familiar with Aaron Rodgers. He's played up against him pretty much his entire career, 2 times a year. He's going to know what he wants to do. He'll be able to cover Devante Adams if that's the job they ask him to do. But I'm looking at this, and I think the Colts route to success here to win this game stems from, does DeForest Buckner get after Aaron Rodgers? If they begin to pressure Aaron Rodgers, and D'Amico Autry as well, if they begin to pressure Aaron Rodgers, make him uncomfortable, start to force the ball earlier than he wants to, and get him a little frustrated, they have a really, really good chance to win this game. And on the flip, if Phillip Rivers goes and reverts to the Phillip Rivers that loves to give the ball to the other team, it will be a long day for the Colts. The name of the game, again, for Phillip Rivers is do not turn over the ball. Jair Alexander is a great cornerback, and he will make you regret it if you throw hhis way and give him an easy interception. And then on the flip, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers who's going to make you regret even more when he scores a touchdown because he just got the ball back.
No, definitely. I just this is going to be a great matchup. The Packers. You mentioned Indianapolis, the defense right now 4th best in points allowed. They're only allowing 19.7. Aaron Rodgers is going to have something to say about that. He right now is the 3rd high. He's leading the offense 3rd highest scoring in points per game. They're scoring 30.8 a game. And, right now they have that little committee right now. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Jamal Williams. People are getting it done for the Packers. And, I really want to see them go up against this 3rd best rushing Indianapolis Colts defense. I'm very excited to see Darius Leonard and the mind games that he plays with Aaron Rodgers. You mentioned Xavier Rhodes, Devante Adams. We have a lot of storylines in this game. But the one thing I really want to point out is the fact that Zach Pascal is somebody that we haven't really talked about, and I'm kind of interested to see if he can get something going against this Packers defense. I would like to see a big game out of him, and this seems like one to call the shot on a big Zach Pascal game. Like, this is a good matchup at home. They're going to run the ball a lot. I can see him getting involved in play action. The thing I want to really see from him right now is just more, involvement in the passing game. Same with T.Y. Hilton. We've talked about T.Y. Hilton and the fact that he is not getting any volume this year. And then you have a team, like the Packers coming in, Devante Adams is getting 15 targets a game. This is going to have to be a pass-heavy offense. But I got to ask you about these backfields. Which has the most dangerous backfield? I mentioned Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, A.J. Dillon, but the Colts also have Jonathan Taylor, Wilkins, Hines. They have weapons in the back too.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards the Packers, and it just has more to do with Aaron Jones and what he's been able to do throughout his 3-year career so far. We saw him go off last year. He's had a relatively injury-prone season this year. Hasn't found the end zone the last 2 weeks. I think that's going to change up against the Colts. But when you're talking about this running attack of both the teams, the Packers' run defense has not been great. And we saw that against the Vikings. They did well against 49ers, but it's not great. The offensive line of the Colts is phenomenal. If they're able to just run the ball efficiently, this is going to be a really long day for the Packers. They have Quentin Nelson up top. They have Anthony Costanza. These guys will just maul you, make you just continue to go back. And Jonathan Taylor, we've seen, is a workhorse running back. We've seen Naheem Hines be able to run between the tackles and pass the ball. They can really just run the ball all over the Packers. If this run defense is not there, if their run defense is not stopping them, expect a really clean game from Phillip Rivers. Expect them to be moving the ball efficiently. It might not be as high scoring anymore because the clock will be drained out. But if they're able to do that, the Colts will get a win with their running ability and then the defense. They can definitely get a win against the Packers, I think.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, I'm going to have to defer with you. I'm going to go with the Packers on this one. I just can't, I can't see a situation with both these top 10 passing offenses where, they're not going to absolutely light it up. But you mentioned that run defense of the Packers, it is going to be an X factor. It is the thing that worries me. However, I think with a high offensive game and two defenses that can really get at you, I'm liking Aaron Rodgers. If he gets the ball last year, I see a situation where the clock is managed in his favor, and I'm going to go with the Packers on this one.
Yeah, I like that. I'll stick with the Colts here. I talked about them in the offseason. They're 6-3. They got a huge win up against the Titans last week. We saw their special teams really show out. We saw their defense really showing out. And I think Darius Leonard is actually going to have a huge game. He came out this week, was a little upset that Aaron Rodgers said that Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the league. Yeah. Fred Warner is easily top 5. I'm not going to say who's the best right now, but there's some extra motivation from Darius Leonard, and that's not a guy that you want to have extra motivation because he is easily a top 5 linebacker in the league. So it's going to be a really, really fun game. I agree with you. This is definitely the game of the week, I think, especially for the 4:00 slated game. It's going to be a great one. Hopefully the Colts get a win and the Vikings have a chance to get to 5-5, a little bit closer to possibly winning the NFC North.
Yeah, love that.
That is all the time that we have today, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We really hope that you enjoy the Sunday late afternoon games. We've got some really, really great matchups coming up.
Yeah, great matchups. And thank you all for watching. Just remember, Joe's, check us out, justsayingfootball.com, YouTube, Just Saying Football, Just Saying No GWJS on Instagram for all the article updates. And, just enjoy the games. Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Skol Vikes. Let's go.
Skol Vikes.